Some motorcycles make you want to go faster, lean harder. Some motorcycles make you want to chase thousands of kilometers of the road. Others make you want to explore the off-roads, the mountain hills and forests. But then there are some motorcycles that just make you want to take the long way home. Because the Brixton Cromwell 1200 isn't built around chasing lap times, top speed or attention. It's built around the experience, the ritual, the feeling. At first glance, the Cromwell sits there with this quiet confidence about it. It doesn't have wings or race-inspired graphics or an exhaust loud enough to wake up the entire village. Although instead, it just stands there quietly as if it doesn't need to prove anything. And strangely enough, that's exactly what makes it special. Underneath the classic styling, such as a circular headlight, twin stainless steel exhaust pipes, and overall functional design, sits a thoroughly modern machine. You get a ride-by-wire, traction control, cruise control, ABS, riding modes, sport and eco to be exact, a TFT display, a modern brakes, and a modern suspension. Everything you need to live with a motorcycle in 2026. You even get a USB-A on the side of the dash. But unlike with many modern motorcycles, the technology here never becomes the main character. The machine remains the main character. Now the engine is where the things start to get interesting. We got a liquidly cooled parallel twin with a 270-degree crankshaft with 1,222 cc's, developing 83 horsepower and a whopping 108 Newton meters of torque at just 3,100 RPM, being transferred through a 6-speed manual gearbox with a slipper clutch via chain back to the rear wheel, making you feel it instantly. You don't need to root this motorcycle. You don't need to chase the red line. The Cromwell lives from low RPM. Every twist of a throttle just induces this insane torque that makes big capacity engines so addictive. Even though you could root it up all the way to 7,000 RPM, it just doesn't feel like that's where it wants to live. Your fuel consumption will thank you, because during my test, I reached a peak fuel consumption of 7 liters per 100 kilometers. And with that 16-liter fuel tank, that means around about 150 kilometers of range with such a use. So this machine prefers confidence over aggression. If I would have to describe its personality, I would compare it with a well-fed bear. Calm, predictable, almost friendly. Treat it with respect, and it becomes one of the easiest motorcycles to ride. Push it a little bit too far, and it quickly reminds you of who is in charge. On the spec sheet, the Cromwell weighs 235 kilograms ready to ride. But honestly, it hides its weight really well. It has a low center of gravity, the seat is approachable at 800 millimeters, the low-speed maneuvers are easy, filtering through traffic feels natural, parking is manageable. And once you start moving, the weight practically disappears. Now what surprised me the most is how stable this motorcycle feels. At highway speeds, it feels planted and relaxed. And you can also do some cornering with the Pirelli Phantom Sport Comp tires, which come in as standard. But once you engage the cruise control, it simply settles into its rhythm and it eats kilometers without a problem. So this is that kind of a motorcycle that makes you want to take a longer way home than originally planned. It actually feels so stable, you could play some cards on it if it was legal. Brakes inspire confidence, they're provided by Nissan. In front we got a dual 310mm discs with a dual piston floating calipers. And in the back we've got a single 260mm disc with a dual piston floating caliper. They both have ABS. The suspension is firm but remains composed. It's provided by KYB or Kayaba. In front we got 41mm forks with 120mm of travel, and in the back we got a preload adjustable stereo shocks with 87 millimeters of walk. The electronics stay quietly in the background. Nothing feels gimmicky. Everything feels purposeful. And that brings me to the most important part. Who is this motorcycle for? Because I don't think it's for everybody. If you're a type of a rider who constantly seeks attention, you know, traffic light races or wheelies, and overall just seeking drama, then there are probably better choices. But if you're a type of a rider who enjoys early morning departures, quiet and silent country roads, coffee shop stops, and just honestly enjoying spending time on two wheels, then this bike starts to make a lot more sense. This is a bike for a type of rider who already understands that riding motorcycle isn't about proving something. It's about experiencing and living something. The Cromwell 1200 looks good almost everywhere. In an area such as this, in front of a coffee shop, on the side of a country road, or in an industrial area outside a workshop. You name it. And somehow it looks even better when it's not perfectly clean. Little mud, little dust, a few honest kilometers. That's where the Cromwell 1200 feels most authentic. So for the information, this relatively stiff seat is also removable. You unlock it from under there. Otherwise, let's go take a seat on it. It's a little bit stiff. You get used to it. Now my thighs touch it, but it only increases the confidence I have of control of this bike. Me being 1.81 m high, on this seat height it's very approachable. I might like say even a little bit squished, eh? I don't know. Anyways, we use this beautiful pickpocket knife key, put it in, and the Brixton animation arrives, giving us a primary eco mode where we got the roue counter, the speed counter, the fuel gauge, the temperature of the oil, the odometer, the gear we're in, and the time, which is wrong at the moment, and some hazard lights, which we always hope they never turn on. The position, very nice, a little bit on front, just a little bit. The whole weight is primarily on the ass. The packs are relatively low. It's like the cool mode. I don't know how to say it. It's cool. It's nice, no problem, bro. So it's very, very comfortable. It's not complete sofa. It's a little bit more focused, but still on the comfort side. We got the main buttons here. You know, you got the cruise control, the modes, the hazard lights, the horn, very nice, the blinkers. Then we got the engine kill switch, traction control, and daylight or headlight, you know. And then the long lights are in the back. Yeah, the throttle feels nice. It's, you know, it's ride by wire. It's a very nice place to be in. Nothing is too much or over the top. Everything is just as you need it. Now there is a 5-second rule with everything here. So traction control, cruise control, or power mode, you need to hold the button for 5 seconds and then let go, and it happens. So let's enjoy the engine now. Ooh, very nice. Oh, no, I must not be too loud here, but that sounds very nice. We will check it very soon. So its throttle is it has a nice transition to power. In eco mode, in sport mode, it becomes more difficult, and I don't advise to use it in the cities, but it's very nice, you know, like a well-fed bear. Ooh, cruise. Well, let's go on the more appropriate road now for this bike. Let's press it a little bit. Woo! Yeah, I mean, you can do that, but it's not what it wants to do. It wants to chill. It angles pretty well too, even though I don't do it justice, you know. Now let's try the cruise control, 5 seconds, and let's go. I press the button at the speed I want to stay in, so 50 around about, and you just chill. It's so stable bike, it really is. There will be a slipping cup on the road and I will go over it and I will not have to touch the controls. That's how stable this bike is. That's it, you chill. The brakes are strong enough. I never had issue with stopping. I actually only use the rear brake, that's how good it is. So I'm really happy with the brakes. The suspension, it's stiffer, but it's still soft, has some travel. And now it comes the slipping cup. Let's see what happens. Yeah, okay, no problem. So yeah, it's a great bike. It has a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour, which is more than enough, you know, it's not chasing anything, but it gets there pretty quickly. And the lag, I have to say, it's a very stable bike. I had some bikes on the tests, and this bike is the most stable one yet. When you park it, I don't know, the weight distribution and the lag is shaped in a way that it's very flexible. You can park it wherever, even in places where I couldn't trust the other bikes. So yeah, what's my verdict? The Brixton Cromwell 1200, it's not a motorcycle trying to reinvent motorcycling. It's a motorcycle that tries to preserve of what made the motorcycle special in the first place. And in a world filled with screens and increasing distractions and machines desperately trying to impress us, there is something special about that. The Brixton Cromwell 1200 doesn't demand attention, it earns it. And the longer you spend with it, the more you start to understand why. Now the only real competitor to this one I found was Triumph Bonneville T120. It has pretty much identical specs, perhaps an engine with a little bit lower power and torque. At a higher level of roofs, it produces it, and it has Brembo brakes and cornering ABS, which this one does not. The Brixton starts at 10,000 euros, while the Bonneville starts at 12,500. So, you know, you can also get it in black, gray, or green. If you want to do a test ride and you're from Slovenia, feel free to contact bluerides.si, or if you're closer to Novo Mesto, MT Moto, they will hook you up. They also have gear. They will take their time, help you out to find the best match for you. And I met some customers of theirs, they were all satisfied, so I say what I saw. So yeah, I will leave the links in the bio. Thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe, like, comment the video. See you next time. Ta-da!